All right, we're live. Awesome sauce.
Awesome.
All right, greetings and grace to everyone. Welcome to the Goodbye Broke podcast show, vlogisode. I am your host, Letitia Grady, aka the Encouragement Lady. Always here to encourage you to think, take action, and become richer in this particular aspect. And I'm so excited today because I have a guest on who's going to share some of his success stories about his debt freedom story, basically. And as I've been talking to people about what I'm doing with Goodbye Broke and asking them what it is that they want to hear, everyone is telling me, I want to hear somebody who has been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and can now tell me how they did it. So I am so pleased to introduce everyone to Phil Reischer. Am I saying that correct? Is it Reischer or Rischer?
You can say whatever you want.
All right.
It feels good. It feels good.
Okay, so Phil, but anyway, he's the founder, editor-in-chief of this cool blog called the Young Adult Survival Guide.
Yep.
And there he does a lot of money advice to young people, millennials particularly. And what's unique about him and what caught my eye with him is that he's 26 years old. He's paid off $30,000 in student loan debt, and he has paid for his first home with whole cash. So we gotta talk to the brother. We gotta figure out what he's doing. You know what I mean? So Phil, yay. How's it going? Tell us.
Everything's great. I can't complain. I always tell people I'm living the dream, right? So I can't complain. Pretty much, as you had mentioned, I paid off my student loans $30,000 in 12 months, and I was making $48K. After that, I said, hey, I can stick to a budget. I can stick to a plan, and let's keep it going. So I decided I was going to save up and then buy my first place with cash. And the benefits are so rewarding, debt free. You don't have to worry about anything. What's the worst that could happen? So I'm blessed, and I appreciate you having me on the show. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. So let's just jump right in and get to some of the nitty gritty in terms of mindset, because I know that's a huge thing that you emphasize on your blog. And
yes.
So with that, what you're 20 in your early 20s. What got you thinking about paying off $30,000 and not, go buy some car that you could just ball out in?
Yeah, that's a great question. So pretty much I was raised by a single mom, and when I was, I guess, 16, I was introduced to Dave Ramsey, and I was like, this is pretty cool. We never really had too much money, but we were okay. And I decided that I wanted to change my family tree. I didn't want to be like, how we were. And so I went to college. Unfortunately, I didn't have, as much money set aside as I would have liked, but I did take out student loans, and I made it my goal that I'm going to pay this off in a year. The first step that I put on my 5-step guide is to set goals. So I set a 1-year goal to pay off my student loans in 12 months, a 5-year goal to buy my house with cash, a 10-year goal, and a 30-year goal. And really what I focused on was every single day sticking to my plan and sticking to my goal. At the end of the day, my slogan that I always go by is, if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. And that's really what drove me every single day. Another step that I put in my 5-step guide that's on my blog is to control your mind. And what I mean by control your mind is every single day I tell my day where it's going, and I make sure that I'm sticking to my goals, and I'm reminding myself what my goals are. It's not just blindly waking up, and going out. So that's really helped me.
Okay. And so tell us what a day was like when you were in that process. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
You worked, you were working, so right?
Yeah, the way that I set myself up was I had this $30,000. Like I said, my mom raised me, and my dad was very involved in my life, but I never lived with him. And my mom actually got married when I was in college. She moved away, and I didn't really have a place to come back to, but I had all my friends here in the DC area. So I decided that I was going to talk to my dad and see if I can live in his basement for the year. And the way that I set it up was I told him that I would be an on-call laborer. I would be a babysitter to the young kids that they had. I would be permanent ladder and gutter duty. So I was trying to pitch it to him, give him some of the good stuff. And I worked. I was making $48K. I was doing customer service, and I packed my lunch every day, Pepsi, ham sandwiches, chips. And I just reminded myself every day, like, hey, you have 30,000. So each month you're paying 2,500. Let's make it happen today. Even down to each day, I'm paying $83. Every day I woke up, hey, $83. Okay, cool. Let's get it. Let's go. It's game time.
Okay.
And just staying focused on the goal. And that's really what I did. I mean, it sounds easy, but at the end of the day, if you want it, you'll figure it out and you'll make it happen.
Okay.
That's what I believe.
Okay, so let me backtrack and let's just kind of, paint the picture. You are, you get this revelation when you're about 16 from Dave Ramsey about, getting out of debt. Fast forward, you go to college and you decide, okay, I got this debt, but I'm not going to carry it with me for the rest of my life. So I'm going to put a plan into action. So then you make some radical lifestyle choices and you decide, I'm not going to get an apartment. I'm not going to buy any cars. I'm not going to go buy Jordans and shoes or anything like that. You decide, I'm going to work out a deal with
be different.
Be different. And you decide to go in, live in your dad's basement so that you can cut your expenses. And then from there, you begin to take these actionable steps each day, which involve you, I guess you could say, making certain affirmations to yourself, not so much like mantras, but like taking action on your plan.
Yep.
And then from that, you were able to wrap out the debt. Now, tell me, how does a young man in 20 48K? What's your skill set? Like, how did that happen? Because some people may be going, but Dad, how are you gonna make 48K? I'm making 20K, or 25 or 30. How did you get that?
Yeah, so something that I did in college was I decided that I was going to get a job that paid well. And in college, people are out here doing whatever, who knows what. And I took it upon myself. Like I said, I'm going to change my family tree. And in college, I had 3 internships. Most people only have 1 or if that. And one of my internships was with the company that I actually started with out of school. So I tried to set myself up with the opportunity to get a good job. I had a college degree. Fortunate for me, I live in the DC area, so very high. So now fast forward, when I look to buy a house, cost of living is really high. But when I was paying off my debt, the salary is a little bit higher because cost of living is higher.
Right.
So that's how that worked out. At the end of the day, go ahead. Sorry.
I said because your expenses were so low, it worked out because you had made those moves to make your expenses so low. So you were able to reap the benefits of having that high income.
That's correct.
Right.
One thing that I did not mention was that I lived on a very strict budget. So every week I would write down my budget on my notepad, and every single time I spent something, I would minus it off of that. So like, for example, for gas, I would put $20 every week or every 2 weeks, and then minus it off. Eating out, I would put $10, minus it off, and I would not spend any more. My girlfriend was so mad because she wants to go out to eat and everything, and I'm like, listen, it's not in the budget, so it's a good excuse to have, right? So
hey, introduce us to your friend.
Yeah, so my dog is Tuney.
Yeah.
He's just hanging out. I was lonely when I ended up buying my condo, so I decided, hey, I'm gonna get a little friend here, and he's good. He's a good companion. He's good motivation every day to make sure that I'm doing the right things, because you have a little bit of responsibility now,
Okay. So it took you 12 months to pay off that 30K, right?
That's correct.
30K. What was that day like for you?
So Yeah, I mean, you've been working towards this goal. You had this goal, when I was in college for 2 years, and then now you're working towards it really every day, grinding it out, and you're doing your debt snowball or however you set it up, and you're looking at it. And that day, I made the payment, and really, I felt like, hey, Phil, you just did this. Like, you set your mind to this goal and you knocked it out. Like, now you know that every single day you can stick to a plan day in and day out and hit your goals. A year is a pretty long time. So then I decided, hey, I can run the same plan out. I'm making a little bit money, got a little promotion, at work, and making a little bit more. I could run the plan out and then ultimately buy my place with cash. And it's funny because I told my parents my dad and my stepmom where I was living, and they're like, no way, like, you live in DC. This is the sixth most expensive place to live in the country. The median home price is like 250, 300,000. Like, there's no way. I'm like, all right, we'll see. Like, that motivates me. And like I said, if you want something bad enough, you'll figure it out,
Okay, so let's dig into that. All right. How did you find this bargain because you bought a condo? Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
That's where you are right now?
Yeah, it's a pretty nice place. I fixed it up nice, got a little TV, and got a nice bathroom. I just redid the bathroom. Nice kitchen. I redid it. So
okay.
Yeah, so I can walk you through.
Was this a foreclosure or anything?
No, it was not a foreclosure. So the way that it worked was, I had about $60,000. Well, I had probably $75,000 that I had saved up over 2 years, and I figured, you know what? You can find a place out here when you have straight cash.
Yeah.
Like, people are motivated. I started reading a lot of books. So like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I was telling you before, Real Estate Riches, a lot of these books just talking about real estate. How do you find good places? And typically when you look at divorces, people are trying to get rid of stuff quick. Deaths in the family, people are trying to get rid of stuff quick. If someone's sick, similar thing. And so ultimately what I did, I contacted a realtor, and then I found some places that I liked that were right around 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and said, hey, I got cash. Like, what's up? And I only wanted to pay 60,000. That was it. Mm-hmm. And so I found a very nice woman who, her mother recently passed away, and she was looking to sell her place to a young person that was doing the right things with their life, not out doing some crazy stuff. And she thought that it was awesome that I was paying with cash. She had it listed at 95,000, and I made the offer 60,000, and she came down, and I said, no, listen, I'm only paying 60,000. And ultimately she said, okay.
Awesome, man. You're the art of the deal over there, huh?
No, I didn't do any haggling. I just put a little charm on. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, right. I've worked in real estate. Have experience.
That's right.
Mostly multifamily, high dollar things. But I've seen the power of cash and what it looks like to be on the other side of the transaction with someone who has, nice down payments. When you have that, you have a lot of leverage. And I experienced that a couple times. And I was just telling you about this also, buying my cars cash. I just bought a car today. My goal to not get into a car debt, to get no more car notes. Okay.
Yeah,
and I sacrificed for an entire year of not going anywhere, just being homebound. Thankfully I was working at home, so I didn't have to drive. But I needed to, I got things to do. So
people to see.
Yeah, and I'm trying to, get out and start networking more and stuff like that. And so it dawned on me, too, you talk about mindset, just let you know where my mind was. My last car that I bought was a pretty decent car, and it lasted for like 9 years after I purchased it. And I bought it for like $8,600 cash. This is when I was selling real estate, and I had a little cash. So I bought it for that price, and it died on me or whatever. So long story short, I backslid and got a daggone car note in 2014.
Wow.
Yeah, because I had depleted all my cash. I had no more cash, right? So I had good credit though. So when I do that, I regretted it, totaled the car last year, and I'm never doing that again. So fast forward now, I said, okay, I'm thinking I need to save up another $5,000, $6,000 to get a car. but someone put it in my mind, was like, well, you can just get a little beater for a couple thousand, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So I've been waiting all this time trying to find a car, thinking that I'm going to be saving up $5,000-$6,000. And I was like, oh, get this now. And that's what I did. And turns out I got a really good car. So I'm happy about it.
Yeah, actually, I did the same thing. So I feel you on that.
Yeah, you obviously, well, you ever told me you got to hook up with your job or whatever too.
Yeah, but well, when I was in college, I actually bought an old Saturn, 12-year-old Saturn, and it was a manual transmission. And so I used that for 2 years. And it was great. I mean, I didn't have any issues, but I bought it with cash, $2,000 that I had saved up in college.
Yeah.
So no, I believe you. That's awesome. It's good stuff.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to be like you, yo. Okay. All right. So let's talk about David Bach's book, The Automatic Millionaire. Right. I was talking with you about that a couple days ago. Right. And his view. You read the book.
I've read the book multiple times. Yeah.
Okay, I became aware of him because a client that I'm doing some copywriting for, she sent me this article and said, "Hey, this would be great, you know, if we could write something about this." And lo and behold, here you are, the embodiment of that daggone article. So I was like, let's talk to Phil about it, right? So
yeah.
So basically, Dave Bach's book, The Automatic Millionaire, suggests that millennials' biggest mistake is not buying a home, not getting into the real estate game, not getting into the real estate market. And he says that real estate is the escalator or elevator to wealth. And you say what?
Yes. I agree 100%. I know that, you know, a lot of my friends rent, and that's totally cool. But I think, to me personally, renting should be a temporary fix, you know, where you're building up for a down payment, or if you want to pay cash, you know, rent. I had rent with my parents that I lived in their house. Right. Now it was only $200, but I was renting, right? I didn't go out and buy a place. So renting definitely has value. However, like you said, the escalator or elevator to wealth, when you have equity and then you pay it down, you pay down your loan, your net worth goes up, right? So, and then also your real estate can appreciate. When you're just renting, money's going out and you're not going to get any return on the back end.
Right.
Yeah, so
you experienced that even with your own home that you purchased, because it was valued at 95, you got it for 60, so you walked in with about 30K, assuming that valuation was accurate.
Exactly. And then you can do little fixes here and there, you know, a couple $100, do some nice paint, little floors, and you can really make a big dent into real estate. If you fix your nice bathroom, I'm sure you know, real estate. Kitchen, same thing.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about your blog, the Young Adult Survival Guide. Why did you create that? You know, what made you feel like you needed to do this? Because you're clearly you're more than surviving. So
I'm thriving.
Who did you create this blog for?
Yeah, so the way that the idea came about was, so my girlfriend, she's a teacher, she's a kindergarten teacher, and she had a bunch of friends who I live in Maryland, right outside of DC, and in Maryland, a lot of the school districts require master's degrees to be a teacher. And so a lot of her friends have $50,000, $60,000 in student loans or more. And, you know, they heard my story and they're like, Phil, you got to help us out here. Like we went to school to teach elementary school. We don't know about personal finances. And so I actually had a good success story with one of her friends. She had $48,000 in student loans. And she's ran a budget and a plan for 2 years that I sit down with her and put it together. And now she's down to $8,000. And she's about to pay it off in the summer. And so she's doing awesome. And so I decided, like, hey, there's a lot of people out here who would love to hear this story and love to hear what I'm doing. And so I created the blog. And on the blog, I put my 5-step guide that I put together. And it talks about setting goals, being different, why you should be different, creating a budget. And I actually have a template on my blog where people can go and customize the template that I use to them personally and then download it. And it's free, which is a big benefit because a lot of times people see budgets and they're like, oh my gosh, this is calculus, whatever, it's pretty tough. But 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And only 1 out of 3 Americans have a budget that they live on.
Right.
So
Okay.
I decided that there's definitely a need, and I wanted to put my stuff out there, and I think that it's been well taken in.
Right. Okay. So, have you always, I guess, based on what you said, since the age of 16, you have been kind of money focused. You know what I mean? If you have a
So what happened was, and this is kind of sad. What happens to young people when they're in their high school, they get their mom or their dad gets them a debit card, and it's just like they think it's a credit card because they don't know the difference between debit or credit. They're like, go out with their friends, like, hey, I got you, man. Just swiping. And that actually happened to me. I went out to a pizza place with one of my friends, and talk about super embarrassing. Swipe my card, decline. I'm like, what? This thing doesn't decline. It's a credit card. Well, first off, it was a debit card. And so then I go home and I'm like, hey, mom, my card didn't go through. I'm 15. She's like, oh, well, let's look at your statement. And I actually overdrafted my account, and I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, what is – she's like, you need to pay them $30. You need to go down there and apologize. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Like, what is overdraft? I thought this thing has money on it. And then she's like, wow. She's like, she kind of had an epiphany that, maybe she didn't really teach me that stuff. And so that's when her and I both started on Dave Ramsey through our church. And it felt like to me, like financial peace, right? We never really had money. So I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I've been looking for. Never going to overdraft again.
Awesome. Okay. So, so right now you have on your blog, the $1 million question.
Yes.
You had a conversation with your friend, and he said, no one has ever talked to him about money. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think that kind of goes into what you're saying. Like, people aren't talking about it, right?
Exactly. So my latest, so I try and put one blog post out a week, and the last one I did was the $1 million question. Why don't we talk about money? 44% of Americans say money is the hardest topic to discuss, and 33% of Americans lose sleep over money. So people are losing sleep over money, but they're not talking about it. And they think it's so hard to talk about. So I try to put together a quick and easy, hey, these are some questions some non-confrontational questions you can ask a friend, and ultimately how to cure it. So the first thing is just talk about it. To me, it comes so natural because I read, and I love reading about money. And to me, money's nothing. It's just a way to buy things. When I tell people I paid off my place with cash or whatever the case may be, I'm not trying to brag. I'm trying to say it's just money. Like it's just paper. And people inflate how much money they have, their 401k, their credit score, into who they are. And that's not the way it was designed to be. It was designed to get goods and to buy goods. And so it talks about why we don't talk about money and how to start talking about money, because money's so important. Okay.
You mentioned that you have a girlfriend.
Yes.
I don't know if I saw anything on your blog, but did I see anything on your blog where you advise or encourage couples to talk about money and how they should, go about that when they're ready?
So I have a unique situation, and people might say it's crazy. I actually had a conversation with my coworkers today about it. But I've been dating my girlfriend for 8 years. So we actually met in high school. And she graduated college, and I strongly believe that it's so important for each person in a relationship to have a strong financial foundation, sticking with a budget, paying bills. And so I never really advised her, but she does call me and ask me questions a lot about her budget, which I love it. Her friends ask me questions. I like that, it's open lines of communication, because Dave Ramsey shares this: 50% of divorces are because of money. And if you don't have a good foundation in a relationship when it comes to money, it's tough to talk about those things. And you have the free spirit, right, and the nerd. And you have the nerd who's just like, don't spend money. And then you have the free spirit like, let's go party, woo. And so it's good to have a common goal and a common foundation that you can grow on. So I've talked with her about money, but no, I've never really, I don't try and push my agenda.
Right. But I mean, obviously there is some compatibility there. I mean, initially, like I said, there was some pushback. She was like, "Oh, you're on this budget. We can't go out." But now, obviously, she's on board. She got the revelation about it, right?
Yeah. Now we go out and she's like, "How much you have in your budget?" I'm like, "I got this. How much you have in your budget?" Okay, we can make it work.
That's sweet. That's sweet. Okay, so so tell me what advice now you have for someone who is, in 30K or more debt, right?
Absolutely. So
And they don't make what you make.
yeah. So
You may say, you know what, he's privileged, or but you didn't come from that. You came from pretty much, you had both parents, but single parent raised you type of thing.
absolutely. So, what I would say is that it's not about how much that you have. Really, what it comes down to is the discipline and setting goals. So, I said I have the 5-step guide on my blog, and it's free. So you can go up there, read through it. It's not that long. Really, at the end of the day, even if you only make 10,000, 20,000, set some goals for yourself. Maybe you pay it off in 3 years, maybe you pay it off in 5 years, whatever the case may be. But set goals and attack it every day. Don't let life. Life is tough, and it's tough when it is hitting you. But if you have goals and you have a budget that you live on and you feel comfortable and you like,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, it's not about how much that you have. It's about constantly sticking to your goals and hitting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm missing in talking with you, because you're such an awesome guest, and I'm just happy to have met you. You're going places. Tell us how you're growing your blog. I mean, you are doing a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
So you're going to be visiting some schools. Is that correct?
Yeah, so something that I thought would be beneficial was, because in college, even at my college that I went to, I didn't really have the foundation, the financial foundation coming out of college. I had to reach out to my financial department and ask them, how many loans do I have? How should I pay them off? Should I pay subsidized or unsubsidized? How does that work? Trying to figure all this stuff out. What is a 401k? What's a 403b? I don't know. And so I thought, hey, why don't I come, a young kid who's getting it, doing his thing, come speak to these college seniors, college juniors, and say, look at me, you guys could be just like me. I didn't do anything crazy. I set some goals, I hit my budget, and I told myself every day what I'm going to do. And then look at the outcome. In turn, colleges will get some money because people are financially stable.
Right.
I put my name out there for a couple interviews that I've done with various media outlets, because there's a need for young millennials who are not, the entitlement and lazy that you hear, right? Those are all just stereotypes. There's more to us.
I am like a of millennials. I cannot tell you. I said I want to do a blog post about like the top 10 millennials that I'm a student of, because all the videos that I watch and know, you guys are crushing it online and stuff like that. I have other questions about certain mindsets that you guys have that seems to be incompatible politically sometimes. When I see you guys, I'm like, how can you be so entrepreneurial and then have this political ideology? But that's a whole nother thing. But millennials are killing it, and I totally salute you all.
Thank you. We salute you as well.
I'm taking notes.
No, that's funny.
I'm the cautionary tale of what not to do. I've been like so smart that I've been like super dumb. You know what I'm saying? With my, so now I am, flipping that script kind of midlife here. So I hope to be an example for, those that are past a certain age, the seasoned people, how we can, come up, because I plan to be coming up.
Yeah. One thing that I always say is that you can't control your past, but you're in control of your future. You can't change it, you can't control it, but whatever you do from now on, it's a whole new ball game. So
Right. Okay. Well, everybody, again, this is my man Phil Risher. Tell me. You can tell me what your name is.
Risher's good. Risher's good. Risher's good.
Risher. Okay. Phil Risher of the Young Adult Survival Guide. And I'll have his information in the description that you can check him out. And if you have any questions, be sure to comment, keep paying attention. And again, just check out his blog. You're going to be hearing from him. So you might as well, get to know him now before he starts to pop and everything. So I can say, one of the first things with him, as he's going to be on Dave Ramsey, I'm sure. Just like I'm going to be on Dave Ramsey to say, I'm debt free. I'm going to be saying that soon.
I like it.
Yeah, so this is Phil. And thank you so much, Phil, for joining. And if you have any questions for me, I don't know. You can flip it on me if you want. I don't know.
I will ask one question. So you talked about, you obviously went down a different path and now you're changing that. Why did you change, or what made you change?
Again, I would say my relationship with God and recognizing that, some of the things that were in my heart to do, recognizing how my debt was really hamstringing me with that. And I have been carrying this debt for years, just being, just kind of like how I was telling you my mindset. I was telling you my mindset about the car. I had one mindset. I was making it more difficult than what it really was. You know what I'm saying? And so I held on to that too long. And I count that as a residue of a poor money mindset from youth on up, And yeah. So that was pretty much my genesis is my relationship with the Lord that made me want to get it in gear and get it going and wipe it out. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yep. So, all right, guys, this is Goodbye Broke. Again, I am your host, Letitia Grady, aka the Encouragement Lady, here to encourage everyone to think, take action, and become richer. In spirit and in cash, and my man Phil is a model of that. So go to the site, get your life together. All right. All right. Thanks, Phil.
No problem. Take it easy. Thank you.
Everybody say bye to Tuney.
Bye, Tuney.
All right. Deuces.